At the 2-minute mark, the scoreboard will stop, but the score will be kept on field by the officials.
Am I on in the van or what? Okay. So is this TV working up here? Or what's the deal? Okay. TV, though. Oh, my TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tomahawk Stadium, site of today's matchup of the Talawanda field hockey team takes on the Indian Hill Braves girls against a matchup that should be quite a dandy. I'm Paul Neihart alongside nobody as I'm flying solo today as we announce this team as Talawanda starts off in the middle of the field with their celebration. Try to get themselves psyched up for what is sure to be a dandy of a matchup. We've got ourselves a cloudy, overcast day, 71 degrees with winds coming in from the southeast, just over Mount Indian Hill. Looks like the teams are taking the field right now, and we're about ready to start play. Indian Hill's getting psyched up for the 4th time tonight, or this afternoon. They want this game, ladies and gentlemen, and they're not afraid to tell you. And why not? This is supposed to be a fairly big matchup as the teams finally take off and get underway here. We get underway here. It looks like it's going to be Talawanda ball as they won the tip-off, coin flip, what have you. Looks like they're going to start off in 3-by-3-by-4 formation as they start off with the possession. Ball's bounced around and looks like they're going to give it to Talawanda here, which is quite neat. Talawanda comes back and they pass it up the field and it goes out of bounds. This is new turf here at Indian Hill. You know, the ball kind of gets a little rough around the edges sometimes as we get some momentum shoving it on it. I can't announce them whenever they do something. Whatever. That's the only one we have. If they need it, then go ahead and take it. Talawanda's making a nice push down the field here. They try to get something going. Ooh, and it looks, Indian Hill takes possession and hits it up the field. Trying to get something going, it seems like. Anna Little tries to push it up. Try to get Indian Hill on the smiling side of the scoreboard here as we're just underway here at beautiful Tomahawk Stadium. Looks like a late arriving crowd at best here. You know, for a Saturday afternoon, cloudy, overcast, winds coming out of the southeast, I'd have to say this isn't half bad. Nonetheless, there's plenty of rowdy fans here, so they're going for quality, not quantity, it seems like. Nonetheless, it looks like the Indian Hill team is giving Talawanda a taste of their own medicine and pushing it back up. Is a little hook shot there by number 3 of Indian Hill. That's going to be Kate Hamilton. Decides to play aggressive defense, and you know you can't blame her because when you play a team like Talawanda, you want to go out there and you don't want to mess around. You want to make sure you're not messing around. Actually, looks like we've got somebody down in the play, but looks like Kate Hamilton, and they're going to go ahead and get the trainers out there just to see what the deal is. Quick break in the action here, and it seems like game note here is the official score said 2 minutes in. They're going to keep the score on, so. Go watch the game. It seems like there's some type of injury going on out there. It looks like they're checking out Kate Hamilton's lower body region. It looks like a shin, perhaps. I mean, they're wearing shin guards out there. And looks like she's going to walk off the field. It's Terry, the trainer, out there. She's Indian Hill's head honcho when it comes to trainers, part of the tri-health specialist. Does a dandy of a job, and it looks like Kate Hamilton's going to be just fine. And she's going to walk it off the field. Subbing in for Kate looks like an undisclosed person, but whoever it is, I'm sure she'll do a fine job. Nonetheless, Talawanda's taking it out here. And delay in the action. We're supposed to get showers later on this afternoon. I was told by the referees to hurry up the pregame intros as much as possible. And, I did that, and I guess with 2 minutes in, we're going at a slow pace, and I guess they were worried about scattered severe thunderstorms. Nonetheless, we're back into play here, and with winds coming out of the southeast and the temperature quickly dropping. I wouldn't deny it, but nonetheless, Indian Hill's fighting for it. Looks like Sarah Lackman's trying to get her first chops in for the game. She gets down low, and Talawanda takes it back up. Talawanda's a school that's not exactly a hop over the pond. It's a good distance away, and they're going to come here. They're going to come out fighting. They're going to come out. They want to win this game. And Indian Hill in their pregame ceremonies decided that they wanted to win this game just as well, albeit more vocal. But nonetheless, Talawanda wants this too. It looks like a quick whistle against Indian Hill, and it's going to be the ball towards Talawanda's side. Talawanda takes it out on a free kick. Ooh, a little topspin on that one. She didn't get a hold of that one exactly. There's a shot on goal by Ann Kenny. It goes no good. And it looks like another foul is called. I think there's something they don't like to see. They're seeing something on Indian Hill here they don't like, and it's causing some fouls to be called. And it looks like they're lining up 5 wide in the goal here, and unorthodox. Huh, yeah, that's different. But nonetheless, it's Indian Hill's ball, and oh, wow, a little trick shot there. And Kenny later stick down to stop it. And that's legal, folks. You can do that as long as it's legal. So she stopped it, and Indian Hill, they're making something happen here. You can tell they're coming out aggressive and firing off the bat. And another foul is called yet again. It looks like this one's against Talawanda again. Yes, it is, and it looks like we're going to see that other that thing again. Yeah, looks like a corner thing of sorts. It's like a corner kick in soccer, if you will. But nonetheless, yep, they're going to go with the play again. Ooh, another swing. Wow. Boy, I'd hate to be in front of that one. That would she had some serious mustard on that one. One thing you'll notice about this game is the pace at which it will be held. It's very fast-paced, and these teams come out aggressive. And as you can see, their benches are very deep. Indian Hill's got 10, 12 wide on the bench. Talawanda, the same. They're about 4 or 5. The depth is going to be one of those things that they'll go to if they need it. So, ooh, it passes up here. We get a breakaway here for Talawanda. They come up, and it's going to be a nice defensive play here by, it looks like, Jenny Von Dalen to come back and put the kibosh to that attack by Talawanda. Just a little under 26 minutes left in this first half of play. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the game of field hockey, I recommend you understand that there's 30-minute halves. Running clock, I'm pretty sure if there's no injuries. There's going to be another whistle here. Looks like a hit to the goalie, and it looks like it's going to be Talawanda's ball. The goalie hit somebody illegally. That's what I'm being told by my stat guy. So Talawanda comes up. Oh, nice aggressive play there by Indian Hill. Looks like number 5 for Indian Hill, who's Rachel Beckstmuller, came out, and she's fresh off the bench, and she was just darted out there and put the kibosh to that scoring drive of sorts for Talawanda. As Indian Hill tries to push it up the field. There are a lot of early whistles here. A lot of ticky-tack fouls. Like I said, these teams came out aggressive and came out firing, so they you get those fouls from time to time. Looks like Abby or Kate Rowe, the other Rowe on the team, came off and maybe thought there was some type of foul called, and she thought, I don't know, she stopped playing and stuff. But it looks like a ball went out of bounds, and it's going to be Talawanda's ball. The field dimensions here for field hockey are just about the size of a football field. Just take out the end zones, and that's what you have. So it's a jog. I mean, it's you have to be in good cardiovascular shape to get up and down the field. It's a trek, and it looks like these teams are both in good shape. One note about this turf is it will get you in good shape. 40 times have been slower on this turf just because it's a bit softer and it's tougher to get a grasp. As Indian Hill fights back for the possession. Looks like it's going to be number 14 for Indian Hill playing defense here. I think that's it's Kelly Johnson, I believe. Yeah, it was Kelly Johnson came by and made a nice defensive play. Indian Hill's strengths, seems like at goalie, is Morgan Malthouse, number 44. And on their defensive side is also another one of their strengths. And they play great defense. Just a couple of years ago, took the state championship. That's something to write home about. And, you know, it's theirs to lose this year, I hear, so it's pretty serious. Ooh, it looks like a swing and a miss here by number 22 of Talawanda. She wound up, and I guess that could have been the curveball she was expecting. I'm not sure, but she was off balance, it looked like, and she swung and missed here. The ball's up the. Here comes Aunt Kinney driving. She's looking to make a swipe here. She's swiping for it. It's out of bounds. They're going to give it to. Wait for it. They're going to give it to Talawanda. So right now we're in a bit of a pitcher's duel. Just about 8 minutes into this half, end of this game. Oh, another swing and a miss. Boy, they're changing all kinds of things. It's going to be in little. She's got to chart the goal. She swings. Ooh, and it just hits wide. Albeit the shot was swung on and missed, she still did her best to make good contact. And, you know, that's still something to write home about there. As we speak, the crowd that was once late arriving becomes one that's plentiful as the fans are starting to file into the stadium. As I said, the weather was a bit of a factor, I believe, as you know, these cloudy, overcast days don't make for a pretty one, but boy, do they make for a cool and comfortable one, I'll tell you that much. Nonetheless, we're still nothing here. Talawanda's trying to get something going. Indian Hill's trying to get something going. They're tugging. One team tugs this way, one team tugs that way. We're neutral ground. Nonetheless, both teams are fighting hard, and you know, if they're fighting this hard in the fourth quarter or the late in the second half, you know, I'd be surprised, because if they can keep this up, that'll be saying how much both these teams want this win. Looks like it's also out of bounds here. One thing you'll notice about field hockey is the ball does go out of bounds a good amount of times, just due to the on this turf it will, just because of the top spin the girls like to put on their shots. It'll roll out of bounds quite frequently, so that's a common occurrence right there. Also in attendance, looks like the JV field hockey team for Indian Hills filed into the stands. They're cheering and stuff, and so is the Talawanda field hockey team, which makes for a nice chorus of sorts. Ball's played up in the middle. Both teams still trying to get something going, as it looks like another foul is going to be called. These fouls are being called left and right. These refs are, I think they sense the tension between both teams, and they're going to make sure nothing breaks out, so they're going to call this as tight as they can. Like I said, it's a running clock, so hey, you might as well call them. Play it safe. Better safe than sorry, to quote Socrates. Here comes, looks like another shot of sorts here. Yep, another free shot. Oh, and a little, another foul called here, and it's going to be Indian Hill's direction. And these fouls are being called at a rapid rate, of which I've never seen before. I'm debating on whether or not this Indian Hill team or these Talawanda guys are just playing a little sloppy, or whether or not it's just the aggressive play I was talking about. Either way, it still makes for a good show. That ball rolled all the way over to the edge of the turf, off the turf and onto the track, actually. This Indian Hill Tomahawk Stadium was just refurbished last spring. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but to explain that, the turf was renovated. Maybe that's it, yes. The turf was put into place, and I believe new light bulbs were put in place, and the lights, they increased the wattage to really highlight the turf and bring out the power and glare of the Indian Hill Tomahawk Stadium. Along with that, the track still remains one of the finer tracks in the CHL, I'm told. I believe Wyoming is first, and we're right behind them. But it's a fine track, and you know, it's an honor just to play in this stadium, especially since last year the turf was almost non-existent as we played on glorified mud of sorts. So it was it's a real kick in the pants. Nonetheless, another foul is going to be called on Indian Hill. Talawanda with a free shot. Once that penalty was called, the Talawanda team got right on that one and took a free shot as far as they could go. So they're fighting out there, and they're all over that. Talawanda slowly but surely is taking advantage of field position and pushing the ball up as fast as they can here. And it looks like right now is, we're only 12 minutes into this game, but the first team to score is going to have just a tremendous advantage, just because they'll be able to play even more aggressive defense with that 1-0 lead on their shoulders. That'll be a big pick-me-up. And right now, oh boy, that ball went flying about shoulder high. Ann Kenny tried to pick that off with her stick. But if I'm her, I just hit the deck and make sure that one whizzes above my head and doesn't give me a mohawk in the process. But yeah, it looks like that ball was flying by about 40 miles per hour. And Indian Hill's going to get, looks like it's going to be in Indian Hill territory, deep in Indian Hill territory. And that rings Morgan Malthouse's bell as she's ample for the opportunity to stop the goal. That's one thing about the goalie is, albeit you're not an offensive player. Here comes Morgan with an opportunity here. The ball's in front of the goal. Talawanda is got a whistle here, it looks like. And it's going to be, Talawanda's going to have the ball again. So it looks like they're going to have another shot. But being goalie is a tough job because you can snooze, and all of a sudden the ball comes your way, and you have to be game. Brian Compton, goalie, was telling me just about that too. And albeit your uniforms are different, it doesn't mean your play can be. Looks like we got a whistle here, perhaps maybe illegal motion coming out of the back line. It's a penalty box of sorts, to give an analogy. There comes a shot up here. It looks like, oh, crack. Rachel Beckstermuller just totally level number 12 of Talawanda. I mean, it was a clean hit. It was a clean hit by all means. Trying to get the play here and then use good leverage, and before you know it, she got her good. But if you're going to get her, you might as well get them good. And that was a clean hit. So Indian Hill, however, is taking advantage of that. They're going to use that hit as a momentum swing. It's going to go to Jillian Garrison. Jillian Garrison tries to get it up. She passes. No. Looks like Indian Hill's fighting for it. That ball's free, and it's going to be an X called. Oh, Abby Rose swings, and it's a free shot. Goes up, and Indian Hill still has the ball. So right now it looks like the tables are beginning to turn as Indian Hill is taking this ball up and trying to take some type of momentum swing. And I don't blame him. Wow, that was a nice shot there. As Morgan's going to get some competition, she's going to let it fly right by for a free, a corner kick of sorts. Looks like it's going to be Indian Hill possession deep again in their own territory. Passes up. Talawanda once again cleared by the hard-hitting Rachel Beckstermuller. Oh, she does a nice job to avoid the defenders. She tries to clear this ball upfield as both teams fight and scurry for it. And it still is going to remain Talawanda ball. Just about halfway through this first half of play. Both teams coming out. Looks like maybe Talawanda has the edge, as they've spent more time in Indian Hill's territory, but it doesn't really matter in this game. It matters is what's on the scoreboard, and right now it's 0-0. So, albeit Talawanda spent most of their time in Indian Hill's territory, Indian Hill can spring something loose and get a good shot on the goal. We were talking goalies before, and it looks like in terms of overall equipment, looks like Morgan Malthouse is really geared up. Looks like that field hockey balls, and that's no softball. I mean, when it hits you on impact, it can cause some damage. It looks like they go with lower level pads. It looks most similar to a hockey goalie. As Talawanda is doing some dancing on the floor there. Indian Hill gets the ball back up. It gets through a couple of defenders. Indian Hill's got the ball deep in Talawanda territory, but it looks like there's plenty of Talawanda defenders there to recover it. However, it's going to be free here as Indian Hill tries to do something, tries to get something going here, and still early in the first half. There's another whistle. Looks like some more fans are filing in here. Looks like a little tyke here with his football pads on. I don't know if he's looking to take somebody on in terms of one-on-one tackling drills, but he's still here as Talawanda still pushes the ball up, and this is really becoming a faster-paced game now. Earlier on, as the whistle does blow, but earlier on there was more whistles, a lot more, scurrying about, a lot of teammates packed together and stuff, a little unorganized. Now they're starting to get spread out, and looks like these teams are finally warmed up here. as Indian Hill tries to clear it up and try to get a play going, and another whistle. Looks like a whistle of sorts. It's going to be Indian Hill's ball. It's going to be Indian Hill. Ooh, wow, she put some mustard on that hot dog. Oh, it looks like it rolled down, and it's going to be out of bounds, and I believe, yeah, it's going to be Talawanda ball, as Talawanda tries to get possession here. Talawanda hits it up, but they can't make anything of it as Indian Hill still gets a possession back. And I think the fans feel, and quite frankly, this announcer feels a momentum shift coming here. Ooh, it looks like a foul is going to be called against Julianne Garrison. Looks like she high-sticked of sorts and just got too much of number 27 for Talawanda. Oh, here we go. One thing I've noticed a lot about these shots earlier on is the amount of topspin they're putting on them in order to make sure they go further and make sure there's some leverage. Oh, another call here by the ref. She saw something she didn't like, and Talawanda wastes no time to hit it out of bounds. So that's going to be right back to Indian Hill as Talawanda wastes an opportunity. Indian Hill clears it back up. Rachel Beckstermuller hits it up into territory again, and a whistle against Indian Hill, perhaps? No, it's going to be a corner kick or a corner hit thing again. So looks like Indian Hill hits it up. Shot to the middle. Oh, the ball goes airborne, and that I don't think was allowed, as the referee saw something there and completely eliminated that. And looks like Indian Hill's going to lose possession once again deep into Talawanda territory. Talawanda passes it up, tries to get something going, and she can't shake Rachel Beckstermuller, who's played a very, very nice first half. Just guessed Talawanda's 22, who's suffered mild concussion, it seems like. Here comes Indian Hill, pushes it up. Abby Rowe had a drive. She passes it back to number 2 of Indian Hill. Looks like Sarah Lackman. Indian Hill's players play feistier. They've got some fresh faces in there now and some fresh bodies, and they're starting to slowly take over this game, albeit the score is still 0-0. Oh, there's a shot on goal again. Nice clear there by Talawanda. However, she didn't clear it. Shot in the middle. No good. Stopped again by Talawanda. Looks like another foul or time thing was called, and then Indian Hill's going to take it out in the corner here. What there is, there's a large half circle of sorts, semicircle, of which the players cannot enter until the ball's been hit by the person in the back line. A trigger man of sorts. She sets it up to Ann Kenny, stops it. Oh no, she fakes. And it's Abby Rowe who doesn't clear it. Right now, both teams are struggling to get anything going offensively, it seems, as both teams, as I said at the beginning, strengths their defense, and it's showing right now, as we have yet again another corner hit. The Talawanda faithful cheering their team on. Last time each team was in the stadium, it was the Dublin-Scioto game, which featured many fans cheering. Here's a shot on goal that's no good. Talawanda fights. Nice save by Talawanda's goalie, and they're going to go ahead and try to clear this one as fast as they can. Number 27, Talawanda passes it up. She's got number 23, Talawanda. She looks to clear it. No, she's going to slow it down. No, she passes it up, but she gets too much dirt, chili dip of sort. And that shot, as she just couldn't get enough momentum on that shot to go forward. Oh, and Abby Rowe de-sticks her opponent as she dives for this ball, and she's a little frustrated with herself as she couldn't pick that one up, albeit she only took her opponent completely out of the play. But as I was saying, the Dublin-Scioto fans were quite cheerful on the wrong side of the stadium, but that's just an afterthought now. And Talawanda, these fans, albeit are on the wrong side of the stadium are just as joyful. And hey, they have a nice showing considering that Talawanda's. Oh, looks like another fall here, and maybe a dive of sorts. Didn't look like that was too serious, but looks like both teams are fine. Speaking of that injury we had earlier in the game with Kate Hamilton, number 3. Trainer went out there. She walked off. Looks like she's going to come into the game pretty soon. She's standing on all her fours. She's fine. Looks like Indian Hill's not looking to make any substitutions as of late, but as I mentioned earlier in the game, they've got plenty of depth on their bench. As there's another chance here. Indian Hill's playing with fire right here, and you know they've got Morgan Malthouse in goal, but you got to be careful with that because you don't want to play with fire if you can't extinguish it. So Talawanda's going to get another corner opportunity here as Indian Hill's coach is looking on with 8 minutes in this half, and we are still tied at 0-0. This game has all the makings of overtime, and oh, there's a shot and a beautiful set and a goal there by number 8, Talawanda, I believe. They set that one up perfectly. Morgan Malthouse looked like she was screened of sorts, and she just could not get anything going as Talawanda here jumps out to a 1-0 lead with 8 minutes left in the first half. Like I said earlier on, this game is going to mean just a lot when it gets that first goal, as the Talawanda fans are going nuts here. And it looks like a quick timeout was called. I think that's a good timeout by the Indian Hills coach, just to give her team a quick blow and calm things down. Quick break in the action here. Looks like the winds have now changed from the southeast to the northeast, and it's a sign of circulating winds, which has all the makings of a stationary front, which does not make for good weather, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully this Indian Hill team can get a couple more goals, get their defense back on its heels, and get this game a 2-1 game, and we don't have to worry about Mr. Old Rain Man. Speaking of Rain Man, there's rain supposedly coming. Nonetheless, Indian Hill takes it out. Be interesting to see how these teams recover, especially Indian Hill after a goal like that scored. It was a beautiful goal by Talawanda. They had everything set up. Talawanda didn't even have to shoot for it. They put the stick on the ball and just a little chip shot in. It's the kind of things when you're in your backyard and it's late at night and you just dream of setting it up. Your little boy shooting free throws, little girls got the wide open goal. Boom, it's that easy. And Talawanda's coming out fired up. Morgan Malthouse, she couldn't do anything about that. I don't think she's too upset, but she couldn't do anything about it. That's a big goal to protect, and when you get somebody that's 2 to 3 feet away, we got a quick replay of the goal here for you fans, just to see it. And as we start back on regular action, and Kinney fights back, she sure as heck isn't upset about that goal. It's only 1-0. It's bigger tragedies in the world. She's coming back. She's getting her head into it, and she fights back, and Indian Hill's going to maintain possession. Coming here on the shots, number 19 of Indian Hill. Looks like that's going to be Catherine Crefting. Sophomore sensation, just a youngin'. Playing only her second game for Indian Hill this season. Indian Hill played Summit, I believe, last week in one of their first regular season matchups. And I believe they took them to the shed. I believe it was 5-0. That was a home matchup. Speaking of Indian Hill, next Wednesday, which isn't really Wednesday when you see this. Of course, this is broadcast live tape delay styled. So, nonetheless, on the 3rd, Indian Hill played Oakwood at 5 o'clock, and I'm sure you know the result of that by now. Nonetheless, I'm sure it was a dandy of a game. Nonetheless, Talawanda around the sideline, straddling it. The referee is going to give the ball to Indian Hill, and Indian Hill wastes no time, clears it up. As Talawanda, it looks like Talawanda's dropped a good 8 or 9 people back just to protect their goal right now. As Talawanda, ooh, there we go. We're playing some aggressive offense now. Number 8 of Talawanda with a headband, running down the field, straddling the sideline. She ran out of gas and couldn't do anything about it. Yet Talawanda maintains possession. Oh, coming up at halftime, fans, there's a half break from the periods. It's 30-minute halves, so there'll be about a 10-minute break, I believe. plenty of time for these girls to get rehydrated and get things back in check here. And right now, with just under 6 minutes left, Indian Hill's down to 1-0 to this very tough, very physical Talawanda field hockey team. One thing they don't have the advantage over Indian Hill is their cheering capabilities. Indian Hill's got 10 to 12 girls on the sideline just cheering their hearts out. And I'd say right now Talawanda's got 2 or 3 girls on the sidelines just spectating Indian Hill's cheering abilities, which I think was a big point for those bench players. Nonetheless, Indian Hill passes it down, still fighting for the sidelines, still fighting for it, and it's going to be Indian Hill ball. Things are starting to get darker here, not just on the scoreboard for Indian Hill, but in the skies. Looks like that Rain Man I was talking about is showing his face. And, I don't know if he's going to be here anytime soon, but when he is, I'm sure we'll all be prepared. Here comes Talawanda again, trying to make a score. Indian Hill still has numbers on defense. Nonetheless, Talawanda is making an aggressive approach. Looks like they still hold the attack, as it still remains Talawanda's ball. Talawanda is going to take it out right around the goal area of Indian Hill, as Indian Hill needs to protect here. Things have become into a bit of a standstill now for this Indian Hill team, as things were starting to get a little bit more fast-paced, and now they're just all on the defensive as their backs are to the fire. They're down 1-0 to a very talented Talawanda team with just under 4 minutes left to play. Still striding around that goal. We've got 3 referees with all eyes on this, or excuse me, 2 referees with all eyes on this play, so they're not going to see anything here. It looks like he saw a foot tap, and he didn't like what he saw there, and it's going to be another corner opportunity for Talawanda to get yet another goal on this scoreboard. Talawanda looks maybe they'll set up some type of play here, some type of reverse, I'm sure. Here comes, stopped. Oh, and it's snuffed out by Rachel Beckstermuller. Still foul, and it's going to be Indian Hill possession. Snuffed out by Rachel Beckstermuller. She penetrated into the circle quicker than anybody there, and she stopped that play from making any headway. It looks like that ball comes up from Allie White, pops up. Looks like this turf is allowing this ball to become more airborne than you'd expect when these girls play on grass. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, that ball definitely went flying. That's a dentist nightmare right there. It was teeth level, and there it comes down the field again. I'm sure not only will it hurt it, I'm sure it doesn't taste too well either. It's not exactly a morsel I'd like to chew on. Heck, if it's coming my way, like I said earlier on, I'm dodging the sucker. Indian Hill's got possession here deep in their own territory with the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Coming out, ooh, it sneaks under the stick of number 12 for Talawanda. Looks like Indian Hill's got the possession. Looks like Indian Hill's trying to make a push here. There's about 1:30 left as the score is being kept on the field. Indian Hill's going to try to make a late half push. It's going to be number 7 of Indian Hill. No, that's pushed back by Talawanda again as they snuff out that Indian Hill drive. As Indian Hill still is trying to find an answer on offense. Just over a minute left, I'm sure, in this first half of play. Talawanda's trying to get a goal as Morgan Malthouse snuffs it out and kicks that ball away. Indian Hill drives it up. And right now they're just playing defense, trying to make sure nothing gets into that goal, and with just seconds left in this first half. And at the end of the first half, Indian Hill's down 1-0 to Talawanda. We'll be back in the second half with plenty more action.
At the end of the half of play, Talawanda leads the Indian Hill Braves 1-0. Please stay tuned for the second half, which will be preceded by a 10-minute intermission.
And resuming the second half of play with Talawanda over Indian Hill 1-0. Indian Hill will open up the second half with a 1-0 deficit with the possession. Earlier on in the game, they couldn't get anything going on the offensive side of the ball without Talawanda countering defensively. They came back, and looks like Indian Hill will start off with the possession. And as I said, Talawanda came back, scored a nice goal and a nice play, and ever since then, it's been a 1-0 Talawanda game. But we'll start off with the second 30-minute half with Indian Hill making an unforced costly error. And, you know, that's one thing you didn't see much of Indian Hill or either team was, you know, costly, you know, mental errors earlier on in the game. But, you know, that's not a way you want to start off the second half now. The first half was won by Talawanda as they played with effort and aggression. And that was basically that. Talawanda comes up. Talawanda is a defensive team, but right now, Indian Hill is trying to clear it out. Looks like Talawanda is an offensive powerhouse that we haven't seen. The scouting report I saw was that they were all defensive, but right now I've been very impressed with their offense. They seem very powerful on that side of the ball. However, Indian Hill is going to get the possession back here. Looks like it's going to be Rachel Bexermuller who puts some topspin on it. Hits it into the crowd here, and it looks like it touched somebody's foot. I'm not sure. It's going to be hit up to Indian Hill. It's going to be number 7 for Indian Hill, but it's going to be stopped by Talawanda. As another foul, looks like double party here. It looks 2 people for Indian Hill hit it at the same time. So you can't do that, folks. That's a no-no, and it's going to be a possession to Talawanda. Now circling the track, the Indian Hill Braves varsity football team. After a game last night that was postponed, or as you're watching now, probably some 3 to 4 weeks ago. And that game is already concluded. Nonetheless, besides my time-space continuum, Indian Hill is circling the track. And it looks like they're just trying to get a good jog in. Indian Hill's got the possession here, and they're going to try to hit it up. One thing I've noticed so far is Indian Hill's not afraid to put a good licking on the ball. As they've been whipping it up the field all day long, they just haven't been able to really get a good, you know, good communication between the defenders and all that 1-2 passes. Looks like Talawanda's number 6 here, who's going with the windy haircut, is she didn't like this. She didn't like something she saw there between Ann Kinney and number 6. And I don't know if it's the hairstyle that got to her, but looks like there's a little too much contact, and they're going to have a little bit of a face-off here. It's their first time tonight. And looks like they're getting debriefed in the situation. And we'll dance. Oh, okay, yeah, we did this in gym class. It's the one, you tap your sticks together 3 times, and then you go for the ball. And it looks like Talawanda came up with it briefly, but then Indian Hill came out in front. Indian Hill's pushing it up. They're trying to get their first goal. And Kinney's trying to get possession back of it. She tries to swing it around, ends up getting it back to herself. She swings again and can't get it up to one of her offensive players. Indian Hill's getting in the scoring zone. They got a shot here, and it's no good. Still within the scoring range. A foul's called, and Indian Hill's going to have it in the corner. Looks like Indian Hill's in the back of the corner here. They set it up. It's going to be a drive here. Rachel Bexmuller puts up the shot. No good. Still in the scoring zone for Indian Hill. Abby Rose going for it. Rachel Bexmuller's going for it. They can't come up with it. And it looks like it's going to be Talawanda's ball now. So Indian Hill had several chances in the scoring zone to try to get something going and couldn't make much of it. And nonetheless, if they make a good shot here, they could try to get some type of drive, but it doesn't look like they can make much of it. Looks like Indian Hill's starting to do the warm-up chant here. Trying to get something going. Earlier on in the game, they were playing Shake Ya Tail Feather by Nelly, featuring Murphy Lee and the Bad Boys. Gets them psyched up, I've heard. This Indian Hill team has sometimes been coined as the Black Angels of Death. Birds of a feather flock together, whatever. Right now, this Indian Hill Braves team, as we call them in layman's term, still down 1-0 and trying to get the ball back into the scoring zone that they had just a few moments ago. We're just 5 minutes into this raw half, and the second half is, hopefully it proves to be Indian Hill's winning half, as the first half was the counter of that as it went to the side of Talawanda. Looks like it's coming back again. Talawanda's going to have a free shot at it, but they still can't make anything of it. The Braves come up, possession. Looks like Talawanda actually is going to have the possession here as they fire it up. Talawanda here is going to get several free shots, as we've seen this quite often. A lot of open shots in the midfield, scurrying about. That just gives them even more opportunities to secure this lead, as Indian Hill can't do much with it when Talawanda, meaning there, gives all the open free shots they want. Talawanda once again with an open shot. As every time you swing here, as it looks like Courtney Lynn from Indian Hill bites the dust, but every time you see a free shot, you'll see a little bit of the black dust come up from Indian Hill, that caviar-like substance that Bobby Schmidt, my play-by-play announcer for lacrosse, noticed last year. You'll see a lot of that come up, albeit a chilly dip of a shot. There it is once again. She hit that one pretty clean, though, so there wasn't too much debris. But Indian Hill's lost the momentum here, it seems like, as they can't seem to get something going on offense. And now they're going to have to rely on their defense. Maybe to get an offensive thing going, they can take their goalie out, Morgan Malthouse, to go up a man. But right now, I think that's just a little too risky with, just 7 minutes into this second half. Here comes Aunt Kenny with the drive. She's got some momentum. She's got a person upfield. She tries. Nice defensive play, however, by number 22 of Talawanda, who's also sporting the windy haircut today. Looks like that's a theme they've got going. Nonetheless, Talawanda drives it up, trying to get something going. As she went flying right there. As who guessed it? Rachel Beckstermuller sends her flying. That one was as good as a clean hit, though, as last time. But nonetheless, she went flying there, and her stick made pretty good distance. We'll see a quick replay of that if we can. Yeah, there she goes. Looks like another corner opportunity here for Talawanda, I believe. Yes, it is. Let's see if they can't get something going on that side of the ball. Looks like Talawanda is going to take it out, as once again the Indian Hill Braves football team is circling the field. Looks like Zummy Zanders and Brandon Hammer are circling the field, working on their option. Another foul. Looks like Indian Hill is going to get the ball back here. As right now this Indian Hill bench is now 40 deep, it seems like, as the JV team has joined them along the side. So it looks like they're poised and ready for a goal here, so they can erupt in emotion. Talawanda is down deep. Their fullbacks are playing very, very close. Looks like they're taking advantage of this 1-0 lead right here, as their fullbacks, their farthest defensive men, whatever you want to call them, are definitely playing up, seemingly to draw the Indian Hill team off sides or just to play up. Allie White subs into the game for Kate Rowe. Allie White's a senior. Her leadership on the field is unparalleled by many out there, as this Indian Hill team has only a couple of freshmen, and it seems like they're just loaded with seniors. And they've got plenty of juniors to splash of sophomores, and right now it looks like this Indian Hill team's, at least these seniors, are looking to make a final go-around this year and try to get that state championship that we were talking about. Still, looks like a draw of sorts. And we're trying to figure out what's going on here as the refs, okay, it's going to be Talawanda's ball again. She's going with the spread formation again. She's spreading her arms out. Looks like that's an open shot here. And yeah, it's going to be Talawanda. Dishes it off. They're trying to find somebody in the middle. They've got the ball in the danger zone. But Indian Hill's defense snuffs it out to get it out of there. Still got plenty of hay to make up here. Oh, a little swing shot there. Here comes a shot towards Morgan Woodhouse. She shuffles her feet. She gets over there. And it looks like it's trying to be cleared by Kelly Johnson, and they're going to call a corner opportunity here for Talawanda. As the thunder roars in the background, as that Rain Man I was mentioning before is making his presence felt. We're 11 minutes into this half. 19 minutes left in this game, so the clock is ticking. Speaking of ticking right now, as Indian Hill's coach, her heart's just got to be pounding. She waits in excitement about what can she do to make this team's offense drive. As Morgan Malthouse stops that one. She makes another save. That one came towards her direction. She shuffled her feet, got over, got her square shoulder and upfield, parallel to the sidelines, and just made a great play in stopping that. Talawanda is going to take it out from the side now. Nice stop by Katie Krimchek, I believe. She's playing aggressive D. She's shoving her person out of the way, and it looks like it's going to be Indian Hill ball, so her hard work pays off. Now circling the track, it looks like we've got the Talawanda reserve team looking to get some jogs in, get the blood flowing, pumping. Yep. Here comes another opportunity for Talawanda. No, it's rejected. And Indian Hill's defense once again stands tall. Indian Hill's defense has allowed a goal today, but there could have been about 4 goals without the play of their defenses. Their offense is struggling right now. Okay, well, here we go. Yet another drive for Talawanda. They try to push it upfield. Whistle. Talawanda's ball. Can't make too much of it right now. Looks like Indian Hill's going to try to make something of it here. Try to get something going. Try to pass it up. Oh, they do pass it upfield. It's going to be Allie White. She's got a breakaway. Can she do something with it? She's trying. She's going down the sideline. She's got two people in the open field in the middle if she can get it to them. Doesn't look like she can. And looks like the Indian Hill sideline is being asked to step back as number 19 for Indian Hill is trying to clear it out there. Catherine Grefton, the sophomore sensation we were talking about before. Comes out, and it's swung on and missed. And Talawanda is going to lose possession. And Indian Hill's got to make something of this here. This is the deepest they've been, really, and about 10 minutes in the territory of Talawanda. They've got to get something going here if they want to get this win. And right now, that's just not the ticket. As Kate Hamilton hits it into Talawanda, and they're going to move it back upfield. Indian Hill's scoring opportunities have been rare at best today, to put it quite lightly, and they need something right now to swing this momentum charge. Looks like we've got a foul called against Talawanda as they hit the deck there to try to make a defensive effort. So Indian Hills, looks like they just switched it up or something here, trying to make this announcer look foolish, which, you know, is a concept that many have tried to do. Yet swung on and missed. I wonder if that's a technique they use, because we've seen that a lot today, is the top spin that just hasn't been there. It's gone about, 2.5 feet or so, which isn't really effective when you're trying to hit it up to your teammates, but this ball is going to come all the way back into the range of the goalie as she just let it slide behind the goal, and it's going to be Talawanda ball, I believe, yes. Yes, it's going to be Talawanda ball. Smart play by their goalie to let it fall all the way out and not trying to make a move on it. So still Indian Hill ball, and they're deep within the territory for scoring. Here they come. They've got an opportunity. The ball's being splashed around. It looks like it was kicked. They're going to call it against the corner, yes. Indian Hill's got another scoring opportunity here deep within the corners. We've just got about 15 minutes left to play. It's passed off to Abby Rowe. She swings, misses, swings, comes back again. Tries to get it deeper into this territory. She can't get it in there, and it trickles along the sideline, and they're going to call it out of bounds. So it's going to go back to the end of the hands of Talawanda. Looks like Indian Hill, the ball popped up into the hands of Indian Hill, kicked, and it's going to go to Talawanda. So looks like Indian Hill spoiled yet another opportunity to make something out of nothing, and nothing turned into something. And before you know it, there was one of those things. Kelly Johnson comes up, makes a valid effort as these teams, albeit Talawanda's playing more aggressively, and it seems like they've got more pep in their step. Both teams are in, looks like, good shape, and they're still running up and down the field, albeit after plenty of squandering. As we get a quick timeout here, and it looks like it's going to be, I don't know who called the timeout, but we get a brief break in the action here, so. Got 13 minutes left in the final half of play here. The second half, Indian Hill still down 1-0. Trying to make something go, which they just can't seem to do. Talawanda has just been all over them today. Defensively, offensively, it's still Indian Hill's lucky to be 1-0 just because of their defense. They've been playing a defensive game. That's one of the reasons they're only down 1-0. So this Talawanda team is bringing it, and this Indian Hill team expected it, and they expected it, and they're getting it, and they're getting it. So here we are. Looks like those winds that were coming from the northeast are now back to the southeast, blowing in the westerlies of the southeast. That we've been lucky we haven't seen the rain man here today, and they're calling for scattered showers later this evening, which, as you're watching this, was 4.5 weeks ago. So nonetheless, this weather, as many of you know, is not a big determinant as it was in the old field, as this turf picks up about 12 inches of water per hour. And it allows the field to drain well. And in a sport like this, where you're spending a lot of time not on the ground but with the ball on the ground, that means a lot, because in football, it doesn't mean as much, because the ball's spending most of the time in the air. But when the ball's on the ground like this, you can have plenty of slippery. It's running up and down your stick. You're getting wet and stuff. It's the turf makes all the difference. And speaking of difference, Indian Hill's bench is trying to make a difference here with their constant cheerings, their enthusiastic play, constant chants of "put me in, coach, I'm ready to play, hey, hey," are only psyching up this Indian Hill team, which right now could use some psyching up, as they've only got 13 minutes left, which sounds like a lot, but with the way this Talawanda team's playing, they could use another half to score against this team. So if they tie them, then we go into overtime, and yep, it's going to be Talawanda balls again. One note about this, no, it's going to be Indian Hill's ball as they switched it, but one note about this sport, as many would not expect, is the physical nature of which it has. As many of these girls, they don't wear a lot of pads. They're shin guards, basically your soccer attire, but they also wear mouthpieces, which protects their mouths. As Katie Krimchek swings, looks like a non-dominant hand, and looks like it's going to be a double team, double hit thing, I believe, and it's going to be Indian Hill's ball. I guess Talawanda must have double teamed the ball, so that was enough to cause some controversy, and looks like they're fighting for it. Ann Kenny's got a shot. She's got a shot. Indian Hill's got a shot. Oh, and they just can't make it. That might have been that make or break opportunity that Indian Hill was looking for right there, and they just could not capitalize on it. Nonetheless, they now have this Talawanda team on their heels, ready to make something of it, ready to do something big, something huge, maybe a goal, maybe an upset, maybe another goal. Who knows? We got another shot here. Shot, the ball's in front of the goal. It's going to kick the round, and it's going to be a whistle. It's going to be a corner. Okay, so Indian Hill's going to get back in the corner after having two shots that just both went around and almost into the goal, but just couldn't quite seal the deal. Indian Hill has their best scoring opportunity all game here. If they waste it, this could be all she wrote, because Talawanda hasn't showed too many signs like this of letting up all evening or afternoon, or evening if you're watching it. But nonetheless, Abby Rowe passes it up. It's Rachel Beckstermuller. She hits it. And Kenny stopped in front of the goal. Oh! And a heck of a save by Talawanda's goalie. Ann Kenny had it on the left side of the goal. She went glove side, but it looks like the Talawanda goalie said, she kick saved, and it cleared it out of there. So that's now 3 stops for this Talawanda defense, and this Indian Hill team, or this Indian Hill fan, is just up in arms after that, as they are just in shock. Wow. Oh, wow, she got some mustard on that one. Rachel Beckstermuller hit that one hard, fell onto her backside, and looks like Talawanda is going to get the ball back for a little bit too much air underneath that shot. Talawanda passes it back. Katie Krimchek comes through with it. Yet she's going to get whistled for that, I believe. Yes, she is, and it's going to go back to Talawanda's possession. Just over 10 minutes left in this game, this second half, and Indian Hill had just 3 back-to-back chances at cracking the goal, but just couldn't do anything about it. Right now, they're looking to get back into that region, back into that goal, and putting the ball into the goal and thus making this a 1-all game. Talawanda's got a free kick here. It looks like a free shot here. It looks like Indian Hill comes up with the rebound. Talawanda, I believe, came up. Yeah, Talawanda's got the ball back now. Looks like we had a little technical difficulty there. Get our stat guys on that. But yeah, Talawanda's coming back. Looks like a little trip up, but she's going to be fine with that, I believe. Hits it up the field. Oh, and it goes through the wicket to Kelly Johnson, but no harm there, I believe, is that's going to be taken care of and hit out of play. A very smart play there, I believe, by number 17, Jacqueline Goldberg. I believe that's no relation to Goldberg of the Mighty Ducks, but D1 or D2. But she cleared that one out of the way. Smart play, didn't try to do too much with it. Didn't want to be the hero and take it back up the field, try to score a goal. She simply just did her job. And Kenny comes up, runs by the ball, can't make anything of it, but looks like it's going to be a foul against Indian Hill. It's going to be Talawanda's shot. Ooh, it's hit up in the air. Abby Rowe had that one at eye level. She was seeing that one face to face. And if I had to choose something to see face to face, I'd pick a Mona Lisa. And definitely not a lacrosse ball or field hockey ball of sorts. Holy smokes, that one had more mustard on it. These girls have saved up their shots, it seems like, for the last period, as Abby Rowe gets good wood on that one to protect herself, it looked like, because that thing had all the makings of going up to her leg. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be another free choice here for Talawanda. Shot goes across the middle. Nice little shove there by Rachel Beckstemuller. Not too much of it. It looks like the Talawanda girl took a dive. Ref saw right through that one. Oh, she hits it off her chest, too. Rachel Beckstemuller is playing with all kinds of grit out there today. Something, you know, you see a lot of in football and, you know, even basketball down the low post and stuff with the hack-a-shack. But, you know, in a sport like this, it's good to have some aggression every now and then, just to let the team know that you're just not going to take it. And Hill still got a chance across the middle. Trying to do something. And it's out of bounds, right? And it looks like it's going to be Talawanda's ball still, as we are in close to the 11th hour here. 7 minutes left in this half of play. This Braves team's cheering on the sidelines. Their defense is up against it, and their offense hasn't been able to do much since those back-to-back chances. Ann Kenny tries to clear it up. She's going to come back and try to follow it and can't make anything of it. As right now, it's going to be Indian Hill's shot. So here they go. They get a chance to clear it here. And Kenny's all up in her grill of her opponent here, it looks like. And it looks like Talawanda gets it back up with just about 6:30 left to play. And Indian Hill just squandered another offensive opportunity as number 15 just got crossed up there, it looks like. Try to do a karaoke of sorts. Number 6, Talawanda hits it up. We got another shot here. Morgan Malthouse snuffs that out. She's kicking it around. She's not going to have anything of it. And that's a great play by Morgan Malthouse. She was fairly up within her goal. She was prevalent to any shots around the side. It looks like a timeout's going to be called by Indian Hill here. Timeout was called by Indian Hill, and we've got just under 6 minutes left, 5:58 here. End of the second half. Indian Hill's got their backs up against it. And you know what? This reminds me of a famous quote from Newt Rockney, spoken through the words of George Gipp. I don't know where I'll be then, Rock, but I know about it, and I'll be happy when their backs are up against it. Tell them where I am, and tell them to go out there and give them all you got. Win one for the Gipper. You know what? Right now there's no Gipper in the stands, but there's plenty of fans that want to see this Indian Hill team win. They've got a 1-0 season going right now. They got a big win against Summit. They cleaned their clocks of sorts, 5-0. And right now they're trying to get some more momentum going into the season. It's, still a fresh season. They've got some fresh players, freshman phenoms, Marjorie Nyhart and looks like Palmer Irvine. They've got some youth. They've got some experience. And, this senior team doesn't want to lose to a Talawanda team that, within a couple of weeks, about a month and a half or so, they'll be seeing this team, except they'll be seeing it at their pad. So that's not what they want to win this one on their home turf with Mount Indian Hill in the background, so as their cheers would indicate. Special note here while we've got a break in the action. This Indian Hill broadcast is brought to you by Indian Hill Television Network in partnership with ICRC, the Intercommunity Cable Regulatory Commission. This equipment, which is being brought to you, that's allowed us to broadcast this game right now. That's a 1-0 lead for Talawanda, is sponsored by the PTO and the Indian Hill Boosters Association. Without this stuff, we'd be at home right now, probably be watching College Game Day, but nonetheless, we're here thanks to them, the ICRC, which gives us several grants, make this all happen. Right now, Indian Hill's trying to make something happen. They're defensively against the ball, and it looks like Rachel Beckstemuller took her anger out on that ball, and she sent that ball flying. And, that's pretty dangerous. I'm surprised you don't see more of that, more girls getting hit in the face by a ball that's flying around that high. Like I said, I think that turf might have something to do with it, because if you're playing this on any type of grass, albeit bluegrass or Windsor cut, I don't think you'll see that happen. Another airborne, yep, and it's going to be Indian Hill's possession. Kelly Johnson took the brash of that hit, but she'll be fine. It looks like she's going to go back to her defensive position. Hit to the ground, nice play. Nice shot by Indian Hill. I believe that was number 19. She hit that one up, and it went all the way to the other side. Abby Rowe in pursuit. Comes up with it as it went out of bounds, and now Indian Hill's got 5 minutes. 5 minutes remaining to make something of this, to try to get this ball into the goal, to try to tie this game up, and try to send Talawanda home with a long bus ride. Here it comes. Oh, Anna Little's pushed out of the way. She tries to come back and recuperate, and they got obstruction here, it looks like. And it looks like it's going to be Indian Hill's ball, and they're going to take it down in the corner. So Indian Hill's going to have yet another offensive opportunity to get the ball in the goal, as its fans are fired up. They want to see this ball get in the goal. They've seen a long and tiring game. Teams go back and forth, a tug of war of sorts, and they just want to see something happen here. Shot, oh, and it sails just wide left, and she just couldn't get anything happening there. Great opportunity, but it's going to go back into the hands of Talawanda, but I want to rule out Indian Hill having the possibility of going back and possibly getting another shot or two on the goal here. As we mentioned before, with Talawanda had a nice crowd come along with them. They also had a film guy, it looks like. He's taping the game for them. Why? I'm not quite sure, but he's definitely here. I mean, you're not watching on TV, but the ball's around. It's shot. It's shot by Katie Krimchek, and it still goes back. This goalie for Talawanda is having herself a monster of the game. And you know what? By the time this game's over, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the Indian Hill IHTN/ICRC player of the game. And you know what? I'd like to see that be an Indian Hill player, but right now she's playing way too good to not give the award to. So still, Anna Little's got the ball around. Indian Hill's got a possible shot. Still knocked around, and Kenny's got a shot. She's trying to clear it to the middle. It's Anna Little. Anna Little still got it around. They can't make anything of it. And once again, this Talawanda saran wrap defense shuts them down. But still, Indian Hill will get yet another opportunity from the corner with just over 3 minutes left. Indian Hill fires it up from the side. It's going to be, and Kenny fakes it out. She comes over from the side. She flares out. There's a shot. Out of the goal, and it rolls in! I don't know who scored, but it looks like it was going to be Indian Hill's goal, and they finally score a goal with 2:55 left in the second half, and they get that goal that they needed. Indian Hill slapped it around, and I couldn't get a make on who scored the goal, but it looks like Abby Rose dancing around like she put it in, but I don't know. It looks like it was unassisted. We've got a replay of it here. I'm not sure. And there it is, folks. And it's going to be a timeout called. Wish we could see who made that goal, but it was too tough to call, it looks like. me alongside right now as we've come down to the 2:55 mark down in the game is Bobby Schmidt, our play-by-play guy who just came back. He just came in the nick of time. This game's been a tug-of-war fight, and now it's 1-1 with 3 minutes left in this game. Bobby, I know you just came in, but what do you make of this right now?
Well, it seems like it's been a real close game so far. I'm kind of catching the tail end of everything here, Paul, but with a 1-1 score, it looks like we might be headed towards overtime.
Well, let me give you the cliff notes, Bob.
Yeah.
In
the abridged version, if you will.
In the first half, Talawanda scored, and right now Indian Hill just scored, and that's it. There's been a lot of stuff in between. Both teams have been very aggressive, both very physical. No big injuries to report. We did see the Indian Hill football team circling the track and 5x5 formation, tossing their pitches and options. But besides that, that's all we can really see.
They're still down there working a little bit, as you can see them.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get some turf time. But right now, this game's headed into overtime, it seems. And I'm not sure the overtime policy works. We'll have our stat guys check on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to get somebody on that, see if we can get the final word.
We couldn't get a make on who scored that goal right now, but the player that has been really standing out today has been number 55 at Talawanda. As she's just played her heart out. She's made 4 or 5 several great stops. That last score by Indian Hill was more or less the result of a swarming offense and a tired defense than the lack of goal play.
Number one in your chairs, number one in your hearts. You know?
Also, not to be shortened, is Morgan Malthouse, who's also played a whale of a game. She's been down there. She's been. I haven't seen this Indian Hill team play all year, but it looks like her feet have gotten a lot quicker. She was shuffling around, and this Indian Hill team came out feisty, and they're cheering and all that stuff. And I don't think their sidelines are going to get any quieter now.
She certainly does a great job of blocking up that goal, Paul.
Looks like, it's going to be Indian Hill's ball. Abby Rowe really was dancing around after that goal, as was everybody else. I think she might get the credit for that goal, but it just rolled in through it looks like it was hit by about 5 or 6 Indian Hill offensive players, so it's tough to say who done it. Nonetheless, Indian Hill had another scoring opportunity. If that one would have sailed wide, you could have seen that probably the field goal post would have been torn down after that one, but looks like the Talawanda fans are a little eked off after that, but you'll have that in any sport of this tenacity.
Pretty nice turnout here, Paul, for a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I missed that in the cliff notes.
Right.
It came out. It was a late arriving crowd at best, and then it butted into a nice crowd, a surprisingly feisty crowd. As I was not expecting that many Talawanda fans to travel, as I'd mentioned before. It's not exactly a leap over your pond. It's more of a.
But they're pretty serious about their field hockey up there, Paul. I mean, it's not something that they take lightly. They will travel with the team to the greatest extents.
Well, we've reached the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes. 2 minutes left to play here in the second half of play with the teams tied at 1. And it looks like Talawanda is going to try to make a final push here and see if they can't take this one before it goes in overtime. And I'd say right now, if I'm Indian Hill, I just try to play as cautious as I can be and make sure I make this game go into overtime, because I don't want to push your luck.
No. This is not one you want to lose, here in these final minutes, especially after, scoring on a big goal like that by, did we agree on it was Abby Rowe?
I think it was Abby Rowe. We're going to go ahead and give it to her. And it looks like there's going to be a stoppage in play here. Well, we got a stoppage in play here. We'd like to thank our donation from the fan here. We got a Honeywell fan here. We'd like to thank Honeywell, our sponsor, for donating this IHTN fan to us on a hot and humid day. It was in partnership with Buskin Bakery, I'm heard, is the fan. We'd like to thank you for keeping us cool on a hot day when the action's intense and the blood's really, really pumping.
Yeah, this press box would be almost like a sauna if it wasn't for Honeywell fans.
Oh, yeah. We're working on a sponsorship for Designy Water, too, for keeping me hydrated.
For when Paul gets a little parched.
Sure, why not? Here comes Rachel Baxter-Mueller. Another foul, I believe obstruction was called. Here's a shot at the end, Kenny. It looks like that got a little leg, I believe. That's not really feeling too well. It looks like she's fine, though. Still going to be Indian Hill ball. Time is really ticking here. It's going to be low here. I think she's called the 30-second
high stick.
High stick.
Jeez. Got to be a ruling on that.
And that's going to be the end of regulation. So that's at the end of regulation. It's going to be 1-1. And let's see if we can't get debriefed in the OT.